Hey, we're going to mix it up a bit today. So typically on this channel, we're talking about how to save money and invest money, right? Well, today's going to be a bit of a change of pace. Every once in a while, I do like to spend money on things that I value, and we just happen to be in one of those phases right now. So today's video, I'm going to show you the process that I go through when I'm making a bigger purchase. So the purchase in question is a large TV. And I know, nowadays you can get a pretty good sized TV for, pretty inexpensive. But I tend to be a little picky when it comes to that. I really like a good video experience when I'm watching something. And my family and I do spend a lot of time watching movies together. We have family movie night. I'm really trying to build a home theater room. So my wife doesn't quite know about that yet, but one piece at a time. So yeah, like I said, I'm going to go through the process. And when I'm making a big purchase like this, the first thing that I do is I look typically at upper mid-range. The goal here is to try to find an item that gives me 90% of the functionality for about 60 to 70% of the price of the top tier item. And believe it or not, you can find this quite often with cell phones in particular, but we're talking about TVs today, so the same thing applies to TVs. So step one is I do my research. I narrow down what I'm looking for, what is important to me. And again, so I'm looking at TVs, I'm big on picture quality. I don't care about sound. I don't really care about how the TV looks. Picture quality is what I want to focus. So there's several places I look. I look on ratings.com, I look on CNET, and of course, I scour through YouTube. Once I have it narrowed down to one, maybe even two top tier products that I'm looking for, I'm looking for which one I can get for the best deal. So this is your typical research for when you buy anything, right? I look at, in this case, I'm going to look at Amazon.com because, who doesn't start on Amazon? But it's electronic. So I'm also going to look at Best Buy and maybe what else I can just find on a Google search of around what the price for this TV is going to be. Okay, so at this point, I have it narrowed down to one or two that I want. I know what the price difference is, if there is a price difference. Now comes the next step. I'm going to preface this step by saying that it's not for everyone, okay? So my next step is I look for a credit card. And I'm looking for a credit card that is going to give me a cashback bonus. And that hopefully the spend requirement is low enough that it'll be met by buying this item. So in this case, the television. So I have a couple pulled up here. If I just look at the top one, it says that if I spend $500 within the first 3 months, I get $200 cash back. So that's not a bad start. Obviously, you want to read through all the stipulations, the details that are involved in the card, just to verify that it works for you. For me, I live in Europe, so one of the extra things I need to look at is there a transaction charge when I'm buying something in euros instead of dollars, a foreign transaction fee. So that's one extra step I have to take when buying these credit cards. And again, I want to preface it, if you're not good at paying off credit cards or your credit score maybe isn't where it needs to be, do not do this. Okay, this is if you have a good credit score and you are in the habit of paying them off monthly. And I also want to add, I have the money for the TV set aside. I'm not using the credit card for that. I'm using the credit card for the bonus. As soon as I buy it on the credit card, I pay the credit card off. And then I just wait to receive the bonus, and I use that money for something else down the road. Once I receive the card, I basically shop around like I mentioned earlier, and I'm waiting to see where can I find the best overall deal. Is there a discount? Is there some kind of other award any one of these stores is offering? And if so, that's the direction that I go. I use the credit card, I get the bonus back, and I'm happy because I basically created my own discount. And that's pretty much it. It's not too involved. There is a little bit of work that goes into it with the research and all that. It's definitely not impulse buying. Like I've mentioned in one of my other videos, there's that 72-hour wait window. If you really want to buy something, you wait 72 hours and you still want it, then you can look. So this falls into that category. I do my research and I set myself up to save as much money as I possibly can before I buy the item. All right, well, I hope this was helpful. If you have a different process, I'm curious to hear about it. I'm always open to hearing on how to save a little extra money or do things a little more efficient. So let me know. See you next week.